Hello everyone, welcome back to my craft space. Today is a really exciting day for a couple of reasons. One, because it's my birthday, so happy birthday to me. And two, because I was so blessed to be invited to another of the collaborations hosted by Rachel and Bella from RachandBella Crafts. And there are a little over 20 amazing YouTubers in this collaboration. So if you haven't checked them out, definitely check out the description box below where I will have linked them all. And you can also check out the hashtag jjtipstrickshacks. And I will put that for you on the screen just in case. So what we're going to do today is one of my absolute favorite techniques. Is we are going to do some decoupaging. And it's funny because a lot of the crafters that I watch and chat with on Facebook Live didn't realize you could decoupage on paper, and you so can. I'm going to show you a few things that I have made with decoupage recently and put into my journals. So this is a bee journal that I am working on, and you can see the cover here. This is a napkin. So the bee napkin I just placed right onto the book. This was an old vintage Reader's Digest book. So I did some stamping of some scripted font behind there, and then I just put this bee napkin right onto the cover. And I love that look, and right on the end pages as well. We'll zoom out here just a little bit so you can see better. And then this also is a napkin. My friend watched a YouTube video, so I can't give credit to where it came from, but this napkin is actually ironed onto a piece of cereal bag. But that's not the focus of our video today, but so many things you can do to incorporate napkins and decoupage into your journals. Now this one here on this envelope, this piece is from a napkin, so that is just decoupaged right onto the napkin that is in the book here. And then let's see, where else have I decoupaged in here? I just love decoupage, so it is not something that is, yep, this one, I still haven't torn off the edge yet, but I did decoupage that right onto the paper. And so there's a piece of cardstock, then a piece of Bookpage, then some white gesso, and then this napkin. And I love the texture that it leaves on your paper. You can see I've got a couple of napkins more ready in this journal to put in there. So second signature, again, there's that napkin here. And this is what that napkin actually looks like if you haven't seen it before. So I love the way it looks on this envelope. And I didn't do anything to the back coloring, so this is just the way it's it's a little bit darker, kind of darkened it up a little bit. I did add some ink, but I really love the way that it looks. And let's see, yep, and there's the other end page and the back of the book again. So I also have done that in a couple of other books. We'll check this one out, and then we'll go ahead and do some samples. So this one, I know the last page of this signature I decoupaged just to give it a little bit of color. This is the In Everything Give Thanks kit from RachandBella Crafts and Line.Arrow, and I absolutely loved it. Now this is a napkin that I used just to decoupage on the last page of the signature. I thought it went really well with the first page of the next signature, and just gave it a little bit of color and kind of spruced it up a little bit. So, and again, that texture, there's nothing like it. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and get started. Today, I am using the Roses, I think it's Roses and Blooms, Rose Blooms kit from RachandBella Crafts. And I've just pulled a couple of my favorite pages here to decoupage on. So we're gonna make some tags, and we'll make some pockets with some Bookpage. Now, decoupaging on Bookpage is so much fun, almost as fun as stamping on Bookpage. I absolutely love it. So let's see what kind of trouble we can get ourselves into. I've pulled a couple of napkins. This one here has some roses, this one has some roses, and this one has some little roses in the clusters too. So I thought we would give these a try and see how they do. And the next thing we need to do is cut these out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these out, and then we'll get started with our napkins. Okay, so I have some pieces all ready for us. I did use some of these shipping tags that are Really nice to use because they're already cut out for you. You can find them at most office supply stores. I happen to find these ones at a thrift store, so it was a nice find. But you can use any tag that you want. You can use regular cardstock, whatever you want to do. I have used some liquid glue and just glued these ones that were tags already from RachandBella Crafts kit, the Rose Bloom kit. And what's really nice is that they have given you a great base with a lot of different things in the background here. So when we put our envelope over, or not our envelope, when we put our napkin over it, it's going to look really great. So sometimes I will stamp a scripted font in the background, but if you don't have that, this kit already provides that for you. So that is absolutely wonderful. And then there's this one with some ledger. So we're going to go ahead and Mod Podge over this. Now on the back, you can put some of the beautiful paper that they already have, or you can leave it like this, maybe just ink a little bit, or even just include a little snippet of the napkin so that you have some beautiful writing space. And I'm going to go ahead and punch these holes out once we're done, and we'll put an eyelet in there as well, just for some hole protection. All right, so the first thing you'll need to do is get your napkins, and I think I'm going to use these two right off the bat here. And you need to separate your plies if you have never decoupaged before. Most napkins are anywhere from 2 to 3 plies. So a little tip that I like to do is put a little dab of glue on my fingers, just like this, and then grab the napkin and kind of pinch it at the corner, and it will separate the plies just like that. You can see it divided into 3 right there. And then you just want to peel it. Now, one great tip that we learned during our A to Z of Christmas craft collaboration is to save this extra ply, and you can actually put it through your printer. So if you missed that, definitely go back to the A to Z of Christmas Craft collaboration playlist. I do have one here, and look for that technique because that was really cool. I sometimes save it just for, you know, like a paper towel, or sometimes I'll splatter on top of it and then decoupage with it and just kind of make my own. You can also print on it and just make your own as well. Okay, so that one's separated. Let's go ahead and separate this one as well. Now this one has a decorative edge. I'm not sure how many plies it is. This one was made in Denmark, so it's a little different here. It might not even have some plies. We'll just see. Every napkin is a little bit different, but the ones that we purchase here in the US usually have 2 or 3 plies. And this one, I don't want to ruin it. I don't think it has any, so we're going to try and decoupage with it. If it has extra plies and you haven't taken them apart, when you put your Mod Podge on there, or your Collage Podge, or whatever you want to use, I'm a Plaid Ambassador, and I love Mod Podge even before I was a Plaid Ambassador. So I'll be using the matte Mod Podge today, but my other favorite is satin. If you put this on and you don't have the plies separated, it'll just come apart on your tag. So we'll see if that happens. Hopefully not. Now to get this off, because you want to go around, sometimes I'll just put it right onto the place where I'm going to be putting it, and just, you know, Mod Podge it on there and then trim it off or file it off. You can also use a brush dipped in water, or a water brush if you have one, and just kind of trace around it, and it will kind of get out the design that you want to have, kind of like a cutting it with water, if you will. And sometimes I'll push a little bit hard and it will just start to take it apart. Now there are some really cool decoupage techniques out there. Some people use irons to, they'll decoupage on, and then they'll put a piece of parchment paper and they will iron out the wrinkles. I personally like the wrinkles because mostly what I'm doing is putting it into junk journals. So I don't usually iron, but I can definitely see where it might have its place. And then there are also some amazing DIY crafters that will use a fire technique to take out the extra edges from their napkin once they put it onto their surface. Now keep in mind, most of the time they are using metal or wood surfaces. So, you know, the the fire part of it is okay. Mostly what I'm doing is putting it onto paper, so, and sometimes it's even vintage paper, so I don't usually use that fire technique. Probably not very good for a blind lady to use fire in a room full of paper anyways. But just remember the medium that you're using, and you know, at all times use safety precautions. Okay, I think I'm going to put this one here because I think it will just really help bring out the red of the ledger, and I think that will just look really nice and complimentary. So that one's going to go there. Now, the idea of decoupaging isn't to take away from your digital paper designs, it's just to add a little extra. So you want to keep that in mind when you're doing it as well. You don't want to add so much that you can't enjoy the beautiful paper that is the design, but you know, sometimes it's nice to enhance it as well. And this one has a little bit of gold we could put as a trim, but that might be kind of difficult. I think I just want to do some of the flowers. So again, you can use your brush while it's wet here and just kind of cut out with water, if you will, all around, and it just loosens it up. Now remember, this is super thin because I took all the plies off, so it doesn't take a lot of water. I just sprayed a little bit on here. I always forget to bring in a little glass of water for my brushes. I am not good at brushes. That's the other thing you'll want to keep in mind, is rinsing out your brushes is super important because it will dry the brush and make it crunchy if you don't. Okay, so look how fun this is going to look. So beautiful. We can put it at the top here. I have these little pockets too that I cut out from the kit. Let's see. I think I only cut out, nope, I cut out 3. Okay. So we can Mod Podge right onto the paper as well. And I think this one will be beautiful, but I want to put something right there. So I'm going to put that one at the top here. And then I'm going to do this one, I think, because it's a little bit bigger. Hopefully you guys can see. There we go. Trying to get better at staying in camera. I use my phone for an accessibility device to be able to see better, and I usually need it really zoomed in for me, so I'm so sorry if I am always too zoomed in. I'm trying to get better. All right, here we go. Look at this, so fun. And that one is just gonna go, I think, like this. Just add some beautiful texture up there. And then of course we can ink and do all of the fun things once we got our decoupaged pieces on there. And to decide what to do with this one, there is a rose here that's kind of off-white and mauve. I think that will go great. So we're just gonna try and punch this one out. I try to punch out all my designs first because then I'm gonna use the same brush to dip into my Mod Podge. So afterwards, it'll have Mod Podge on it, which isn't that big of a deal, but it's a little less sticky to hold on to and deal with if you do it all at the beginning. And then it does take some time to dry. I personally like to let mine just sit and dry. So usually at the end of my crafting session for the evening or whatever, I will Mod Podge everything and just let it sit to dry and come back to it in the morning so it has the full night to dry. You can, of course, use your heat tool or whatever you would like, but I usually just like to let mine dry naturally. Now there's another pocket here, and we could put this pretty little rose, and I think that actually looks really nice. So let's go ahead and give it a go, and then we'll work on some of these hearts. We can also make a pocket out of Bookpage, and that's going to be really fun. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up because all we're doing is painting on this Mod Podge over our napkins. So we're going to put some underneath it to use it like a glue, and then we're going to paint it over it. Okay, so we're going to let those dry for just a little bit. I've moved on here to this beautiful piece of music sheet with some lovely flowers on it that is from the kit. And I am going to go ahead and glue it onto this piece of book page in a way so that it's a nice pocket. We could also make it a pocket at the top. That might be a little better, actually. Let's see. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. So we'll just go ahead and put some glue all the way around. And of course you can ink or whatever you would like, but sometimes it's nice to do that after you decoupage because then you can see where the image is going to be and where it needs some ink. Now you could do this directly into your journal as well. Oops, there's a couple pages of book page there. Let's get it just glued on one. And if you were doing it directly onto your journal page, you could stamp some lovely things in the background if it was smaller than your page. So if you had more room over here, you could put some scripted font or some music notes or whatever you would like to do just to get some more interest there. And this already has some really beautiful florals, but let's see. We could just cut out, we could put it over the whole thing, and I think that actually would be quite lovely. It's still, you're still going to be able to see the flowers in the background and the music, so let's give that a go. We'll just go ahead and put this down, and sometimes what I do is I just pour enough here to cover the whole surface. And this is also going to give a really nice texture to this page, which is going to be a pocket as well. So how cool is that? All right, we'll spread this as thin as we can. We'll go ahead and put this napkin right over the top. And I'm going to not use the gold edges. So, and then I just try to smear it as straight and clean as I can, get it as smooth as I can. And like I said, if I get wrinkles, I'm okay with that because I don't mind the wrinkles in my journals. I think it makes a little bit more of a vintage feel to it. Okay, so this one I'm gonna go ahead and tear out the napkin here. And I don't worry so much about like a perfect tear. If it tears a little shorter than what my page is, that's okay. It just gives it more of that tattered vintage look. And I think decoupage is so cool because it can appeal to any of your themes or styles. Like if you are a vintage crafter or junk journaler, it all just depends on the napkins that you find. You know, sometimes you can find some really cool steampunk ones. You can find some more cutesy ones if you're doing like maybe a kid's album or a baby book, or if that's just your style. And then you can definitely use these ones that are a little more shabby chic or vintage. So now we're just gonna put some more over this. And all of these wrinkles that are on this page, once it dries, we can rub ink over it. And it, like I said, it just gives it more of a vintage appeal. And I love that look. I kind of have eclectic taste. I just go with the flow when I'm doing a theme or a kit or whatever. I just kind of let it happen. And I love to ink things, and decoupaging is definitely right there in one of my wheelhouses. I just love it. It's also a great way to mass make things. If you have some beautiful napkins and a bunch of plain tags, you can just go ahead and put those napkins right down on the tags with your Mod Podge or Collage Podge or whatever it is that you would like to use. I think you can even do like school glue, Elmer's glue, and water, and it makes a collage medium as well. So don't have to have all the fancy things to make a great project. All right, we're gonna set this one aside. And then we will go ahead and do some of these hearts. I think they are so cute. And they are set up beautifully for collage or decoupage, really. Oh, look at this, I'm all sticky. Because they just give you the perfect background to put something on. So, you know, this one, it's just got some really faint details in the bottom, but I absolutely love it. This one has the scripted font, a little bit of lace, and a little bit of flowers. So we can just add maybe one little cluster of flowers to that heart. And I think it'll be beautiful just right there. Oops. All right, we'll put a little bit on here. Now, if you don't put Mod Podge over the top, it won't be sealed in, and it'll just feel like a napkin. But it will absorb anything that gets on there, so ink or you know, oils from fingers or whatever. So you do want to go ahead and put that little bit of the sealer over it to kind of seal it in. You can also do the same technique if you don't have napkins, but maybe you can find some really pretty tissue papers. You can do the same decoupaging technique with that as well. You can do it with rice paper. Lots of fun mediums. And look how much beauty that just added to that heart. We've got, still can see this beautiful print over here, and we can see this little bit of a flower over there, and then it's just accented it right there. So it kind of did take it over a little bit, but that's okay. And let's see, this plain one, let's try a little bit of this red rose right here. And we don't have to use the whole design, we can use pieces of it. Let's see. So we could just add maybe this little cluster of 3 right there. And we'll just tear this right apart like this. Yeah, I think that's beautiful. Okay, go ahead and tear this down just a little bit. So many fun possibilities with decoupage. You could, you know, stamp on the napkin before you put it on if you wanted some added music notes or a scripted font or whatever you want on there. Put this on here. And let's see, let's put that one over there. And it does get a little messy, so, you know, keep some wet wipes or even use the extra plies to dry your fingers. All right, I think that is beautiful. We'll go ahead and cut that down once it's dry. And this one already has a little bit of a rose over here, but we could bring in this rose just on this side. We don't have to use the whole thing, so we'll just cut this down or rip it down, whatever. And I think I still want it more. And if your napkin should tear or something in a way that you don't like or you didn't want it to do, you can use little bits and scraps like this to fill in places that may be ripped or whatever. So don't feel like you have to get the perfect tear. Ooh, I think that's really pretty. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put some on here. Just a little bit more. Oop. I'm not used to this Mod Podge in a bottle. I normally use it in the big jar, so it is kind of nice though, because you can just pour out what you need and not worry about it. All right, we'll put a little more over here. And you really want to go around all the edges really well, just to make sure it gets nice and sealed in there. Look at how pretty that is. Love it. Okay. And then there is these cute little postcards in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put one. I start to run out of desk space too. I'm going to go ahead and put one on this piece of book page, just like this, and then we'll trim around and have a cute little like journaling card, or we could even make it a pocket if we wanted to. Just gluing down this way, but I think we're just going to make it a little journaling spot. It could just even be a piece to add to one of your pages, just for some decoration, and you could make a little cluster on top of it. So just go ahead and put this on here. We could still put a pocket over here. Again, if you're mass making, these are the great things you can do. You can make little elements to stick into your journals, and decoupage is a really great way because a lot of times you can get a lot out of your napkins. Even just one napkin can go kind of a long ways. I made 6 tags out of one in a fun Valentine theme, and it had these cute 6 little doggies, and they were perfect for tags. And then, you know, this one had four big clusters of roses, and you saw we've already used it on all these things, but you could keep going and, you know, use it however you see fit. So let's see, what do we have on this other napkin here? Get some cute little clusters, but I think I am enjoying this napkin here. I think the colors are just perfect with this collection. So now this has a little bit of some gold on it, and we could just put it like this and keep the gold. I think it kind of adds a little bit to the edge. So we'll try that. We'll put a little bit of this over here and just smear it where we're gonna glue this. And that edge is coming up, so we'll put some more down there. Now you can glue your pieces without the Mod Podge before. I just like to do it all in one. And we'll just put a nice coat over it. I think all this beautiful greenery just really adds to the fun of this kit. It's so beautiful. Oops, let's try and spread that out the way it's supposed to go. There we go. So that almost makes it look kind of like a pocket. We could make it into a pocket, you know, by cutting this out, and then this could be the pocket. Won't see much of the book page, but that's okay. It's not necessarily the most important part. I think I just want to put one little cluster of flowers right there. So I'll just go ahead and tear this out. Now you can use these on all of your junk journal ephemera. You can use your napkins. There's so many themes of napkins out there. It's amazing. I love to collect them. All right, I didn't put any down before. Let's put a little bit under there. Okay. Swipe that off of there. So it looks like it's a little bit lacking kind of here in the middle, but you could put some phrases or some sayings you could fill in with some more greenery or some more flowers, whatever you would like to do. I think I'm going to leave it and we'll just kind of see how it goes. We could also put some lace at the top of here. So many fun things to do to decorate. So I'm going to go ahead and let some of this dry. I have gone ahead and inked most everything with some Distress Ink Vintage Photo, and I did not use Oxide. I used the Distress Ink by itself because I really like to have it just a little bit darker. And you can see this one has not been inked yet, and this one has. So it's just a subtle thing, but it still makes it really look a little more vintage. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with this one here. This one is still drying. You can kind of see it's still wet there, but I'm going to go ahead and just tear the edges down. And then we'll add some lace to make this one just a beautiful pocket to put into your page, your journal. So you can see I'm leaving just a little bit of the edge here of the book page, and I think that just will definitely add some interest. Now the excess pieces of your napkins, make sure you save those, because you know, sometimes you just need a little flower here, or you know, a little whatever piece it is. Maybe it's a butterfly, or maybe it's some greenery or whatever, and it's definitely nice to use those scraps for that. So just fold them up nicely and save them, and they will work great. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and we'll ink this one. And then I'm going to add some lace. That is what I wanted to add to this one, and it will be ready. You could stitch around this if you are one that likes to sew all of your pieces. You could still stamp some more things on it. You could add some sentiments on there. So many things. And if you have some spots that are a little lighter than what you want, feel free to just rub this ink all over and see how it really brings out the wrinkles. I love that. And you can still see all of the faint details from that paper in the background, and it just really gives a lot of interest. And our napkin makes it a little bit whiter here, so I'm just going to go ahead and rub my daughter with some ink over it and make it look a little more like it's a little older, distressed, and blends in with the paper really well. All right, so now let's go ahead and get some lace on this one. We're going to put some lace at the top of the pocket. And again, you can sew it if you want to. I'm just going to use some hot glue and glue it right on there. I am a little bit impatient. And I'm not sure I could sew this thin little piece of lace here on anyway, so we'll go ahead and do that. You could add some vintage buttons or whatever you want to add. We could notch it as well, but I'm just going to go ahead and put lace here. Then I've got my cool little silicone brush. If you haven't ever seen one of these, they are amazing. I don't do those little finger protectors very well because I put it on and then I avoid using those fingers, so it doesn't help me glue very good. But this silicone brush is amazing. I like to start in one corner and get one corner secured. Use my little silicone brush and push it down there. Now I've cut a little extra, so we could bunch it up a little bit if we wanted more of like the ruffly look. You could even make a cool little, like, make it look like it's a snippet roll. I'm just gonna go ahead and put a stream of glue here, and then we'll see what happens. And of course your lace, you could also coffee dye, or you could use your ink and give it some more of that vintage feel. Sometimes I like to just use my little silicone brush here and just kind of bunch it a little bit. Stick it down, but just kind of bunch it a little bit. And then you can glue these little ruffly pieces down if you want to, the little pleats, or you can just leave it like this and it adds some character to your pages. So this is going to be a beautiful pocket. And when we put it in, we could even use one of these to kind of put at the end here, just to decorate. You could put a button there. I've got kind of some ripped stuff there, but I'm okay with that. I think it actually looks great. So this will be a nice pocket this way for some beautiful pieces from this kit. So that one we'll call done. Now this one, I was thinking, I actually really love this one, just the way it is. And the only thing I'm going to do to it is use my crocodile and add some eyelets. So I'm going to add some eyelets to these 3 tags that I have here. And I think this pink color that I have will maybe go with some of those other ones there. And then I have kind of a yellowy one. I don't have red in here, oddly enough, but I think this yellow one will be okay. I had white, but kind of trying to avoid the white, making it look a little more vintage, so that's not a very good fit. All right, so we're just going to take our crocodile, punch a hole here, and put our eyelet. And if you've never used one of these tools, I do have a video on how to use it, and it is just amazing at setting eyelets. I love it. Absolutely love it. I'd be lost without it. So we'll go ahead and do these other 2 just because I have the tool out, and it's kind of a faster way to work, just doing the same thing. These tags are so beautiful. I absolutely love this kit. Perfect for decoupage. And I think that color just kind of brings out the pinks everywhere else. And then on this one, we're going to go ahead and put a pocket too. So we'll do that next. See, I love that one too. Just kind of brings out the pink. And I didn't do any decoupaging on this one, but I did do the decoupaging on the little pocket that I wanted to put on here. So we'll go ahead and add this pocket just like that, and I think that's going to be very pretty. And of course, you can add your ribbon or your eyelash trim or some more lace or whatever you want to add to the hole up here where we put the eyelet. Just glue this in and we'll cut off the excess down here. Maybe add a little more ink to the bottom. Now what I like to do is turn my tag over and either rip or cut anything excess off, except for this one. I'm just going to go ahead and leave that because I think it adds a little character there. And since this one is a little more pink, we could add this little stamp here. We could add it here. Might close off some of the pocket, but I think I'm just going to add a little piece of lace to the bottom of this one. We can do it down here, or we can do it a little higher. We could even put it here, but I think then it's going to cover our flowers. So just going to go ahead and add a little piece to the bottom. And that will give it just a little more frill. A little bit of hot glue again. You can use Fabri-Tac, or you can use a sewing machine, or whatever adhesive you are most comfortable with. Do that. Missed a little bit of glue there. You can even use a glue stick with your ribbon or your lace and then put it through your sewing machine. Just kind of tack it a little bit. And I still might go over this little area here with some stitching. I think that would be cute. We could stitch all the way around up here. And now we have our cute little pocket We can put one of our beautiful hearts in. Look how pretty that is. Love that. Super simple. We could even glue this heart up here and make it like a little tuck spot, like it'd go in here and then something would tuck under, but I really like that being in the pocket there. And then this one, I think I wanted to glue this to the background here. And we'll leave it just like that, I think, except for I want to add a little bit of some scripted font down at the bottom, just in a stamp. And I really like to use ground espresso for the brown when I stamp, because it's a nice dark. This one's oxide ink, but it's nice and dark anyways. I can't tell if this is right side up or not, so we're going to go ahead and just stamp it here. Yep, that looks great. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put this at the bottom. So that just kind of gives it a little trim down there, a little something to have some interest, and leave some room up here for some journaling. We could also put a little snippet of lace if we wanted to, just since I've got lace with everything else. Could put a little lace under here, just like this. I think I might do that. And that'll just kind of give this tag a little bit of lace hanging off the edge, kind of like a little tab almost. Let's move it up a little bit more. I can see a little better. Okay, so go ahead and put this here. Got a little dot there. All right, look, get out of there. Okay, and then this little guy will just glue right over that. I'm gonna just use some tacky glue for that. A little button or something would be really cute right at the bottom. Maybe I will add one and take a picture and put it at the end. I don't think I have any sitting right here, ironically. I've been working with buttons all day, but I don't have any right here with me. So that's super pretty. Like I said, I think I want a little button like right there. And then the front, I just kind of left it like it is here. I did ink, but this is our beautiful decoupage along with that background from the kit. So beautiful. And then you can also see this piece of lace here. And if the lace is too white for you, just go ahead and add some of your ink on both sides here. And it'll look a little more vintage. I think that's really nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and add a pocket to this one. This one was my plan for this one. I think it's just a perfect match because we've got this flower here and this one here. So go ahead and add this one. I like to put my fingers where the top of the pocket's going to be so I don't glue it down by mistake. And I'm really loving these hearts inside the pocket. That's so cute. And you could put a cute little sentiment or something on there if you wanted to. I'm not going to put any lace on this one, I don't think. We'll just try to be a little different. There we go. But I did like this scripted font on the background, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp that down. I'll just use a piece of this book page so that I don't get ink everywhere. And I think that just makes a really cute little trim down there. And this one's pink, so we could go ahead and put this here. The other one I did put lace, but this one I think I'm just going to leave like it is. Maybe I'll put a little button or something down at the bottom again. You don't always have to make them exactly the same. Now these were from the kit, these roses, and I just used decorative edge scissors and then inked around so it looks almost like a faux stamp, like postage stamp. Okay, so this one is great, and I'm going to go ahead and put this little heart in here just for some contrast, and I think that is really nice. Just like it is. You could put a little piece of lace or ribbon or something down at the bottom if you wanted to, or even maybe up here at the top. Either way, looks totally great. So like I said, this one has lace, this one doesn't, and this one has lace at the bottom. So many things you can do with just a few supplies. Let's see, that one has a heart. We could also put this little tag in here too. This is from the kit, so we could put an eyelet there if we wanted to, or even glue some Bookpage to the back of that little tag there. So cute. I think I might put this little rose on it just because I think it's so pretty. And we could put a nice sentiment on there as well. And this one has a yellow rose, so I might just put a yellow eyelet on there. Easy way to jazz these up. Now this doesn't have any decoupage on there, but still had to put something in our pockets. So it's nice that the kit comes with so much ephemera for you to use. There's also some beautiful little butterflies you can fussy cut and more tags. So lots and lots of things to keep you busy filling those pockets. Go ahead and put a little hole there, and we'll put a yellow little eyelet, and I think that will look really nice. And that's what's really great. They give you a variety of these tags with different backgrounds. This one's not very busy, so you can add some of the other ephemera and just really make it whatever you want to. All right, so that one can go right into our pocket just like this. Ooh, or we can maybe put it in this one because it's got a little bit of some like yellow or off-white roses on there for the decoupage. So we're just kind of adding the decoupage as a nice little additive to what is already there. And let's see. So we've got some fun little roses on these hearts. You can see how those turned out. Absolutely beautiful. Love it, love it. This one too. And then we made our fun little pocket here. And this one here is a whole page. So we can, you know, we already went over this with some ink, and I did leave it open up here so it's a pocket page. But then when you glue this on, you could glue it so it's a pocket this way as well, and maybe put some more of your beautiful little hearts in there. We could jazz this up with some lace or some, you know, more pieces from the kit, whatever you want to do. You can leave them as simple as you want as well. And I think it's just so much fun and adds a lot to your journals as far as like texture, and you can still see the beautiful kit underneath of there. Like you can still see the music notes, and we used the whole napkin on this page. So this just shows you it adds a lot of texture. If you don't like how bumpy it is, because it is a little bumpy because we put, you know, Mod Podge, which is a liquid, onto paper. So it does bubble up just a little bit, you can kind of see. But you can put something heavy on them. You can iron them if you so choose. And I think it's just so great. I don't usually iron them. Like I said, I just kind of embrace the wrinkles and texture that it provides, and I think it is so great and so much fun. And I really hope that you guys have enjoyed hanging out and decoupaging with me, and that you're enjoying the collaboration. There are some prizes and a lot of great things. Rachel has talked about those in her videos on RachandBella Crafts. She does have a playlist of all of the wonderful YouTubers that are taking part in this collaboration. So basically you need to make sure that you follow everybody, subscribe to their channels, hit the like button, and leave a comment on every single video to be entered for any of the prizes at the end. So as long as you're kind of going along the way, you can also catch up at the end. So no pressure, just try to do it as you go along, and you'll learn all kinds of tips, tricks, and hacks. And I hope you have enjoyed this video and will leave me some comments and let me know what you like to decoupage, and if you're having fun on the collaboration, because I know I sure am. I'm learning all kinds of great things. So thanks you guys so much for watching, and a huge thanks again to RachandBella Crafts for putting this wonderful collaboration together. I am, as always, so excited to be a part of it, and appreciate all of their efforts. So thank you so much, you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.